In this module, we will continue working on the portrait and we will add final touches to the edit. Let's get started. Now we are going to focus our attention on the background. I would like to make bigger distinction between the model and the background. So in order to do this, I need to brighten the background. As you can see, especially his right arm is completely melting with the background, and I would like to still make it visible. If I get back to my layers panel and if I click on this little eye icon while holding Alt key, I can see that the arm was still a bit more visible. And let's click again while holding Alt. Now I applied all those adjustment layers again. So to make the background brighter, we are going to add another curve adjustment layer. However, this time we are not going to be adding any control points. We will be purely operating with the existing control point in the shadow area. So to add another adjustment layer, let's move over and let's hit this little icon. Let's select curves. Now I want my panels back. I got the properties automatically, but I want histogram and my toolbar panel back as well. The histogram is very, very important. You can see how it already changed. Let's click quickly on this icon. You can see that we already filled in this gap. If I toggle all those adjustment layers that I have applied off by clicking and holding Alt key on my keyboard, I'm now hitting this little eye icon. Keep your eye on the histogram. This is the histogram at the very beginning when we started working on the photograph, and now this is the histogram after applying all those changes. So you can see that between the original state and the current state, we already managed to enhance tonal range, to make the tonal range wider. Okay, going back to the background, we have added another adjustment layer. Let's call it background. Okay, and now, as I said, we are not going to be adding this time control points. Let's click on this thumbnail representing the adjustment layer, and now we will be working with the control point already existing, that is representing here the darkest point in the image, the shadows. So all we need to do now is to simply pull this point upwards. Without creating any additional points, you can see how it makes all the shadows in the image brighter. I don't want to overdo this. I think this kind of effect will be enough. Maybe a little bit stronger. I would like to point out that you never can get data back that was not present in the image at the first point, at the very beginning. So this part of the image was very dark in the original photo, as you can see here, and there is no way of showing details now. I have exposed the image that way. That was my artistic aim, that was my point, to have it dark with soft light and the face lit in a subtle way. So I consciously made this decision. Now I don't have really details here, and pushing the black point upwards further doesn't really make sense. So all I can do now is to make that part of the image brighter. I'm going to mask this layer, and that way, by making part of his arm brighter, I will still create the three-dimensional effect, and the viewer's eye can still go along the arm, and you can guess that the arm continues downwards. Now we are working really on peripheral parts of the image. Already the most important, the central part, is strong, but now it's really nice to work on these parts as well. So I have to mask the layer. I just hit mask, and the mask is selected. Now I'm pressing Command I on my keyboard, and I will be painting with a white color with a very soft brush. I'm hitting B on my keyboard to select brush, increasing size and changing opacity to 10. Let's now just paint over this part, slightly revealing texture of the background, increasing contrast between the hair and the background, but remember that you cannot really work only in one part of the image. It cannot be isolated change. It has to work with overall composition. So that way I'm very content with these adjustments. I can maybe still brighten this part a little bit. You can see how applying such a subtle adjustment is introducing more balance in this image. It's really helping a lot, having this line of the hair of his head and the arm to make the balance stronger. So that way our image looks after adjusting the background.